guys, it's me Iris. I came for like a special vlog right now that makes me feel extremely passionate. So welcome to my page. If this is the first time you're on this page, thank you for finding me. And obviously I appreciate any subscribing. But you know what, with that said, let's get into it. I don't even like the fact that I said but if you read the title, this is about me telling you about my understanding of ADHD, which I'm honestly going to tell you guys I'm really only starting to look into now because it's kind of one of those things that gets brushed under the rug. So much so that even some people who are diagnosed don't really even invest in trying to figure out. I'm definitely speaking from experience here, so this isn't a statistic or anything like that, but I noticed that most people who are diagnosed with ADHD don't really put forth the time in trying to educate themselves on ADHD. I'm not kidding when I said I'm only starting now to look up stuff about ADHD, and I have been diagnosed since I was 10 years old. That is 16 years of me living with ADHD and having put zero time into looking into it. My apologies if I cry throughout this video at any point, because that is part of what shows. That's part of my ADHD. I'm not sure if that's consistent for everyone, but I am a goddamn crybaby. I let way too many burdens cloud me, and honestly, I think crying is healthy, so it doesn't actually make me feel any sorrow about the fact that I'm crying. It's more like I don't feel like it's a very positive, I guess influence is the correct word for this particular situation, because I'm obviously putting this YouTube up public, and I don't think you should cry in public, however, because not everyone is going to be empathetic and understanding about that, which actually shouldn't be a bad thing, because I don't think I should expect people to want to deal with someone else's emotions. That's actually very not kind upon yourself if you expect people to have to deal with your bullshit. But with that said, just foreclosure, if that's the right word, because another thing about me, and I'm not sure if this is even ADHD related, but I tend to use a lot of freaking words, some that aren't even the right words for the situation. And the funny part too is I do look these words up, so I always look like I'm someone who's like so poor in English, and it's like I'm not kidding. In grade 8 I did a reading test and I got a grade 3 reading level, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I was trying to put in so much effort to try to and that's not even a bad thing. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm actually having a realization that it's not even a bad thing, but I'm sitting there and I'm putting so much effort in. And if anything, I psyched myself out, because I have also a test anxiety. I really do. I mean, so much so that I realized when I was doing this is the moment I realized I went to 3 different topics really quickly. That's definitely something about ADHD. Hyperactivity right there. Bop, bop, bop. My brain going da, 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 da. I'm getting hot right now. I'm starting to sweat. And I just moved to another conversation too. Or another topic. So if I'm going to go backtrack. At Seneca, I was doing a test assessment. So it wasn't even a test. They just wanted to see my English level. And I spent the hour and 30 minutes. And I wrote down one line. And they came to me and they said, do you need to be moved in the room privately? Because at this point I didn't prove to them that I had any mental illnesses. Like, that's a process you do when you're in school. You kind of get into school and the first thing you have to do is prove that you have disabilities, so that people can be sensitive, because I don't really like using that word. I don't really want people to treat me differently. Actually, before I go on another tangent, so let me hope I remember this one. But yeah, that's what I did during the Seneca assessment. I don't really remember what made me go off into a separate and even start thinking about the test anxiety, me having test anxiety. What was the connection to me having test anxiety? Hopefully I'll remember it again. A big thing that you have to remember in this position is we tend to tell ourselves if it was important, it will come out, it will happen. If it's important, I will say it. I also forgot the other thing that I was trying to remember and tell you guys too, but I specifically today had what I considered, I'm gonna call it a spike for ADHD. It might literally be the word, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just starting to educate myself on this topic, but I do know that I had a spike today, and I had to implement a lot of self-care because I will literally eat myself alive internally if I let my spike or hyperactivity moment, whatever we're gonna call it, take over me. And I mean, I'm gonna put a little video at the end of what I did to try to help myself during that moment. You guys can give me 1 second because my nose is so itchy and I will not think of anything else on this planet if I don't do that now. Thank you guys. So back to what I was explaining, which is how ADHD affects me, and you know, kind of give you a live of what it looks like because like I'm not kidding, like today is a day for me. It's one of those days that like other people would see this as sadness or potentially depression or like unproductive, the biggest word, unproductive, personally tax us, unproductive. So I challenged myself to make a vlog right now. That's part of why I'm doing this at this specific moment, instead of, for example, waiting till I'm completely okay, feeling in my best mood, and then going and throwing on a fresh look of makeup and putting on a wig and like making myself look, I was feeling so uncomfortable saying wig, but it's like I wear wigs. Like that's the truth, that I wear wigs. I also do my own hair. I'm actually very confident with my afro. Very confident with my afro, believe it or not. I actually feel sometimes the most confident with my afro out. This is to protect it because moisturizer's in it, and then it dries, and then the hair breaks, and that's the opposite of the goal. I'm glad I took this vlog. And now I was telling myself as I was walking up the stairs, you know, maybe it will make you feel better. Maybe he'll make you feel better, and on top of that, I am someone who's so used to just caving and not doing my productive, communicative, I didn't want to say that word, community, because really unproductivity affects the community. So you're really just thinking about what other people feel at the time when you are, quote unquote, being subjectively unproductive. Subjectively, meaning someone else's, like it's not someone else's opinion, it's an opinion. You know, what deems productive and not productive, right? If we're going to define productivity, I think productivity means when you are not actually doing something that helps actively for the moment. I'm just realizing this video is about ADHD. I mean, this still relates. Because at the end of the day, we get shadowed with this stigma that we're unproductive, that we're lazy, that we don't have any freaking ambitions, and it's like, dude, what? How can you even say that? That's like a contradiction to the hyperactivity. I thought we were so everything. Like, I thought we were everything, anywhere, do this, So at the end of the day, we get strong opinions constantly. So we're battling strong opinions, which everyone's battling opinions, but it's like, why? If I'm gonna be real with you guys, why do we do that to each other? What gives an unwarranted opinion? Like, I've never understood that. Watch my vlog about opinions. I actually have that below. But like when I look at people and sometimes they give me an opinion, I'll be like, and then they get mad offended when you just don't take it. Apparently you're bad at criticism at that point, and it's like, number one, who gave you the authority to criticize me? Number two, when did my not taking your criticism deny the potential of me wanting to educate myself? And number three, no, seriously, who told you that you are the beyond all and end all that needs to give someone an opinion? And I promise you this, that's definitely something that sometimes I struggle with, because I am a very opinionated person, but I promise you this, from early age development, though I talked early, I was very silent with my upbringing because I didn't feel like there was anything to really contribute to anything. Like, that, it just didn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Someone will get this. Someone will get this. But I didn't feel like it was very productive. Maybe it's because I didn't have much nice to say. I actually really, like, did not like anything or basically being alive for a really long time, until literally, I think it was, oh god, I usually say, yeah, it was last year. It was last year, 2019, like the beginning of 2019 was the day that I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. It was actually December 31st. I was sitting in my bed telling myself, Markilla, you don't live like you want to be alive. You don't live like you want to be alive. And yet you're letting all this time pass. Do you want to be one of those humans who let their entire life go because they chose to submit to their mindset and their emotions that were not productive? And again, like I said, doesn't help. So doesn't help you? No, I don't want to be that. That's not my goal. I mean, that's not even a positive influence anyway, so I'm out here always trying to be so loving to people, but I ain't giving love to myself. That's not love. You know how much enabling I've realized I have done over the years by giving love to some of the wrong places? Anyways, it's about 6 minutes. That means this vlog is about 12 minutes, and I honestly try not to make long vlogs because I don't really have typically the phone storage for it. But if you liked this video, I would love to give you so much more about ADHD as I slowly am educating myself. I'm also slightly doing some research on Asperger's, and that's because I have someone super significant in my life that I care about so much. So much. My best friend, and so much more. And, you know, they're educating me. Oh god, that's not what I'm supposed to say. It's not the truth. Because I'm just realizing right now if this is even something I should be sharing, but at the same time it's like, who will actually know who I'm talking about? I mean, the only people who would know what I'm talking about are people within my small circle. But at the same time, it's like, I don't even like the idea of this small circle knowing this, because it wasn't my information to share. But god, I need to, like, how can I say this to respect every being that I am considering right now? They stemmed the motivation for me to want to look up Asperger's. And I simply believe that because I share a lot of ideas and characteristics as this person who's educating me on Asperger's, I've actually literally, for example, had someone who is studying psychology and had created their own psychology book, specifically, I believe, in regards to mental health and ADHD and Asperger's. Actually, it was autism, now that I think about it. It was autism, because that's where the conversation stemmed. They looked at me and I said, I don't think it's very major, but I feel like on a very minor scale, you fall somewhere on the spectrum. And I was just like, listen, I'm not going to be closed-minded. I'm not generally someone who likes to be closed-minded, so I'll do some research. Never did, but I always kept it in the back of my mind. And then one day I was flicking through Facebook and I saw this really insightful video of a girl who was saying, by the way, autism in girls and Asperger's in girls, totally different for men. One of the first things, we talk a lot, we express a lot, we're very opposite of that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, whoa, me. Because, like, hyperactivity is like a moment. Like, this ADHD thing, this is a moment. It's gonna go away, and by the way, it doesn't come very often because I don't let myself try to overwhelm me. Like, I'm very self-care orientated, and that's why I do what I do, okay? I do believe that there's a big impending issue of mental health in this entire planet. And I feel like self-care is the biggest route to helping mental health. Not ignorance, and by ignorance I mean lack of knowledge, technically that's what it means, but ignoring it or anything like that. I mean really putting all of your energy towards self-care. Self-care. Because when you're in an airplane, they don't tell you to put the mask on the person beside you. They tell you to put it on you first so that you can breathe and have the ability to help other people. So when you help you, you have the ability to help other people. Sorry I'm getting so aggressive, but this is also part of ADHD. Like, I'm getting so much energy. At this point, this is passion. I'm not even mad. This is passion. But it's expressing kind of like it's anger because people don't see it as a positive in me. People don't see it as a positive in me. It is something that I definitely get I had bullying all my life for. So like if we're going back on the topic of Asperger's and autism, I educated myself on the fact that apparently for men and women is different, and it's definitely apparently more studied and focused. Not studied, study's not the right word, but apparently there's more education about it for men specifically, or males, or general. Maybe it's general. I just from what she said, and she's someone who 100% identifies as Asperger's, is that there's statistically far more education on it for men and boys, and it's so much earlier. That's what she said. You can see it earlier in a guy than you can in a woman, and there's more women who get diagnosed by the time they're 14 or 15, and men or boys who are diagnosed from the moment they're 3 or 4. I'm 26, and if I have Asperger's, I really could have done so much more to try to help myself. But then again, I didn't really do that much for the ADHD either. So if I'm really going to take any of this vlog that I made seriously for myself, my active goal would to be focus on me more in the most respectful way, respecting my goals, respecting other people, being mindful. I'm really putting forth that one big leg towards self-educating myself on more mental health, because that is the only thing I want to do. I want to help people with mental health, whether or not I stay in this position for basically the rest of my life, which I am not manifesting, or if I get to the philanthropy level that I am greatly manifesting soon. I am praying that I can help with mental health specifically, and anything else that I have passions towards, because I know with all of my life that the one thing God 100% put me here for was for awareness, because my hyperactivity has given me a special gift of staying more aware and having more empathy than even I believe my personality allows. So thank you for watching my video.